"No man is strong enough for me," said the giant Apache woman, until she met the cowboy. In the wild heart of the American Southwest, wherein the desert meets the sky and legends are born from dust and determination, there lived a woman unlike any other. Her name was Naiche, and she stood 6 feet 4 inches tall, a towering figure among her Apache people. The year was 1885. While most Apache women were known for their grace and endurance, Naiche was known for something else entirely: her incredible strength. She could outride any warrior, lift boulders that would crush 2 men, and break wild horses with nothing but her will and her hands. The elders said she had the spirit of the mountain inside her, unbreakable, unmovable, eternal. But Naiche had one rule, spoken loud and clear to any man who dared approach her: "No man is strong enough for me. Show me a man who can match my strength, and perhaps I will consider him. Until then, I walk alone." Dozens tried. Warriors from neighboring tribes came to test themselves. They arm wrestled her and lost. They raced her on horseback and fell behind. They challenged her to feats of strength and limped away defeated. Naiche remained alone, proud and unconquered. Then one dusty afternoon, a stranger rode into Apache territory. He wasn't a warrior or a chief. He was a cowboy, lean, weathered, with eyes that had seen too many sunsets and hands that had roped too many steers. His name was Bear McCarthy, though most just called him Bear. He had a quiet way about him, never raising his voice, never making threats. But there was something in the way he sat his horse, something in the steadiness of his gaze. Bear had come seeking water for his cattle, permission to pass through Apache land. The tribe's leaders brought him before their council, and that's when he saw her. Naiche stood at the edge of the gathering, arms crossed, towering over nearly everyone present. Their eyes met. Neither looked away. "Ma'am, cowboy." The air between them crackled with something neither could name. Naiche didn't trust easily, especially not white men who came from the east with their promises and their lies. So she issued her challenge, the same one she'd given countless times before. "If you want safe passage through our land, cowboy, you must prove yourself worthy. 3 tests. Pass them all, and you may go in peace. Fail, and you turn back." "Fair enough. What's the first test?" The first test was simple: arm wrestling. Naiche had broken the wrists of overconfident men with this test alone. They sat across from each other, hands locked, eyes locked. The signal was given. Muscles strained, tendons tightened. But something strange happened. Bear didn't try to overpower her. Instead, he held steady, matching her pressure exactly, neither giving nor taking ground. For 3 full minutes, they remained locked in perfect equilibrium. Finally, Naiche released her grip and stood. "You did not try to win." "Wasn't trying to beat you, ma'am. Just trying to hold my own." The second test was a race on horseback across treacherous canyon terrain. Naiche's stallion was legendary, wild, fast, and loyal only to her. Bear's mare was tired from weeks on the trail. They raced. Naiche took an early lead, her powerful frame moving as one with her horse. But Bear knew the secret that strength alone couldn't teach. He read the land, found the smoothest paths, let his horse choose her footing. They crossed the finish line within seconds of each other. "Your horse is wise." I listened to her. She knows things I don't. The third test was the one that had defeated every challenger before: lifting the sacred stone. It was a massive boulder, smooth and ancient, that sat at the center of the village. Legend said it had been placed there by the gods themselves. Naiche could lift it to her waist. No man had ever matched that. "Your turn, cowboy." Bear approached the stone. He studied it, walked around it, placed his hands on its surface. The tribe watched in silence. Then Bear did something unexpected. He turned to Naiche. "I can't lift this alone, but I bet we could lift it together." Silence fell over the crowd. No one had ever suggested such a thing. The test was about individual strength, about proving dominance. Wasn't it? Naiche stared at him, her dark eyes searching his face for deception, for mockery. She found neither. Together. Together. They positioned themselves on opposite sides of the stone. On Bear's count, they lifted. The stone rose, higher than Naiche had ever lifted it alone, higher than anyone thought possible. Together, They raised it above their heads. When they set it down, something had shifted. Not just the stone, but something deeper. That evening, as the sun painted the desert gold and crimson, Naiche found Bear preparing to leave. "You could have tried to beat me. Why didn't you?" "Because I wasn't there to beat you. I was there to meet you. All my life, men have tried to prove they're stronger than me. They wanted to conquer me, to break me, to make me smaller so they could feel bigger. That's not strength. That's fear. Real strength isn't about being the biggest or the toughest. It's about knowing when to push and when to yield, when to stand alone and when to stand together." Naiche had never heard a man speak like this. She had spent years building walls, proving herself, keeping everyone at arm's length. She thought she needed someone stronger than her. But what she really needed was someone strong enough to be her equal, not her master, not her servant, but her partner. "What if I asked you to stay? Then I'd ask if you'd teach me to break horses the Apache way. And I'd teach you how to read the land like my mare does. Seems like we both got things worth learning." Bear stayed, not as a conqueror, not as a challenger, but as an equal. Together, Naiche and Bear became legendary, not as individuals trying to outdo each other, but as partners who made each other stronger. The Apache elders would later say that Naiche had finally found a man strong enough for her. But that wasn't quite right. She'd found a man wise enough to know that true strength isn't about overpowering others. It's about lifting each other up. And in the end, that made all the difference.